Hi, my name is Gregory Smith. I will be presenting the first portion of Case 3, which is titled The Stress of Caring. I myself, along with my teammates Timothy Rittman, Adam Sinclair, Kenneth Rouchet, and Paul Sheffield, will also be presenting. In this case, we will discuss how a company in the nursing care industry deals with the transition from a manufacturing company to a service economy, along with the corresponding stresses involved. The scenario of this case will be talking about Parkway Nursing Care, which is a company within the nursing industry, and it is facing massive changes. It was founded in 1972 with just 2 nursing homes in Phoenix, Arizona, but by the end of the 1980s, the company proved to be a huge success. At this time, they had established 30 more units and were still growing. However, in 1993, a venture capitalist by the name of Robert Quinn invested in the expansion of Parkway for a portion of the future profits. As of the year 2000, Parkway had 220 facilities operating nearly 180 nursing homes and managing 30,000 employees. At this time, Parkway is now seen as one of the best care facilities in the Southwest, and they continue to win numerous awards and grow exponentially. Parkway's goal is to be the main provider for the baby boomer generation as they become in need of needed skill care provided by Parkway for when they become senior citizens. The pressure to capture this growth potential proves to be a significant challenge, but not the only one. The other challenge is that the nursing home industry as a whole is under government scrutiny following investigations of widespread patient abuse and billing fraud. Although Parkway has never had any instances of abuse or fraud, the processes of documentation affects the growth of the company. Furthermore, as the federal government decreases Medicare expenses, Parkway begins to lose funding. Now I'm going to hand over the presentation to my teammate, Kenneth Rouchet.
Parkway's perspective. As growth continued, Parkway's leadership remained committed to providing dignity and health to all residents in its facilities. The board of directors states that they wanted to see a renewed commitment to this firm's mission and core values, not a diffusion of the culture. This leads one to infer that the board of directors believes there is a problem within the company. The following slides discuss interviews that resulted from the concerns of the top management. Employee comments. Shift leader Maxine Vernon, who has been with Parkway for 15 years, says that the government influences the management of Parkway to keep staffing levels up. This has caused management to make poor hires in order to keep the positions filled, thus negatively affecting the overall care of the patients. Nurse Bobby Reed believes the problem is not with the staff, but one with the company. Parkway is too focused on keeping the beds full. She also stated that originally when she began working here, Parkway had a reputation of service, but now it is just about the numbers. With too many patients, there is too much room for unintentional negligence. Employee comments continued. A recent college graduate, Dalton Manatee, said that the job is more stressful than he thought it would be. The patients are always complaining and constantly making demands. He expresses that he spends most of his time logging complaints, which lead to nothing, just to please the government. Carmen Frank, a fairly new employee, expresses how physically demanding the job is. She has been unable to meet the demands of her work on a daily basis and is constantly falling behind. She is already looking for another job. Human resource information. In order to strategically plan, the board of directors wanted to view statistics of the company relating to the care of the patients and employees. The basis of the results fell into categories such as the year, number of patients, injuries per staff member, incidents per patient, certified absence per staff, other absence per staff, and turnover rate. Injuries to staff occur mostly because of the back strain from lifting patients. Patient incidents reflect injuries due to slips, falls, medication errors, or other accidents. Certified absences are days off from work due to medically verified injuries or illness. Other absences are excused but are not medically verified. Results. From the year 2000 to 2009, there was an increase in patients by 4,100 people. In that same amount of time, injuries per staff member increased by 110%. Incidents per patient nearly doubled, and absences certified and other increased at a steady rate higher than that of the growth of the patients. Lastly, the turnover rate increased by 4%. These quantitative numbers support the concerns of the staff and prove that there is a problem within the company.
Parkway needs to provide a way for people to take time off when they need to, as many are single parents and primary caregivers to their children. Additionally, the lack of a contingency plan leaves people fighting over shifts and bickering when there is time off. Another suggestion presented concerns shift logs. The staff is so busy that they do not have enough time to check what happened on the previous shift. Additionally, younger and older caregivers disagree on the form of logs, whether it should be digital or handwritten. The government only cares that the information put down is finalized and cannot be changed on a later date. Finally, the nursing staff believes their perspectives on nursing care are not considered in the decision-making process of Parkway's management. The nurses believe they could save a lot of time and money by eliminating some of the unnecessary routines and programs. Staff members need a way to suggest improvement, but they do not know a platform they prefer. Question 1. What do the data on employee injuries, incidents, absences, and turnover suggest to you? Is there a reason for concern about a company's direction? The information on employee injuries, absences, and turnover indicates some area of concern for the company. While the number of patients have increased by approximately 19% over 10 years, the number of injuries per staff member has more than doubled. Employee absenteeism and turnover rates have also increased over the last few years. This is a major cause for concern about the organization's direction. It indicates that as the company expands, the rate of failures is also increasing and the efficiency of its workers can be affected. Therefore, is a strong need for change.
Hello, my name is Timothy Rickman. Question 2. The company is going to be making some significant changes based on the AI process, and most changes efforts are associated with resistance. What are the most common forms of resistance, and which would you expect to see at Parkway? Answer. Resistance towards change may be termed as the emotional, the behavioral response towards the real, and the imagined threat to the established work routines. The three factors which led to the resistance are the recipient characteristics, the change agent characteristics, and the change agent recipient relationship. The most common forms of resistance have been related to the characteristics of the recipient and its present success. As per the case provided, conflict between younger caregivers and the old caregivers have been about methods of keeping documents of the patient. The case states that older caregivers have been resisting digital documentation, while the young caregivers push for the digital documentation.
Timothy Rickman again. Question 3. Given the board of directors' desire to re-energize the workforce, what advice would you provide for creating a leadership strategy? What behaviors should nursing home directors and nursing supervisors demonstrate? The best leadership strategy which I recommend to Parkway is the situational theory. Nursing home directors and nursing supervisors must be the telling leader in the selling and the coaching leadership behavior. The nursing home director and the nursing supervisor are struggling to make decisions. With a new communication platform, these decisions may no longer be single-sided. The behavior in situational leadership includes the participating and the supporting categories. With this, the nursing home director and the nurse supervisor provide much more control with minimal supervision on employees. The next behavior and the situation leadership method concerns delegation. The nursing home director and the nursing supervisors are still involved in the decision-making process. However, the delegation of tasks and the process have been given to employees as well as the responsibility of monitoring the progress of tasks.
I will be covering for Adam Sinclair as he is out of state and unable to participate in this portion of the project. Question 4. What are the major sources of job stress at Parkway? What does the research on employee stress suggest you should do to help minimize the experience of your psychological strain for employees? Create a plan for how to reduce this stress among the employees. Our answer that we came up with is as follows. The main sources of job stress at Parkway's nursing care relates to the organization facing a huge change. Changes including government regulation, poor performance, rapid growth, and loss of vision statement. Parkway has remained committed for providing the dignity and health to each resident in their facilities, but the Board of Directors seek assurance to this statement. Board of Directors are willing to seek the renewed commitment for the firm's mission and the core values and does not want a negative change in the culture. As we answered question number 4, we'll also answer question number 5, which reads, based on the information collected in focus groups, design a survey to hand out employees. What sort of data should the survey gather? What types of data analysis methods would you like to employ for these data? Our answer is as follows. Parkway can bring about the required change using the appreciative inquiry approach. A detailed employee survey can help the company understand the unique strengths and qualities associated with the organization, which can be used as a basis for improvement. The survey should contain open and closed-ended questions as detailed below. What is your age and role in the organization? What gives you pride in your job? How many times a week do you feel stressed at work? And we believe these questions, the survey, and the appreciative inquiry approach will solve the question for number 5. Lastly, thank you for your time. We appreciate your time and consideration in watching our presentation, and have a nice day.